One of them would become a legend.
Hey, welcome back everybody. I have yet another pre-release game review that I think many of you are going to enjoy. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I know you've heard this probably 50,000 times now, but if you could subscribe and like, it would help me quite a bit. Massive thank you to Ubisoft and the creator team there for allowing me another advanced early review copy so that I could bring it to you all. I've also been simulcasting across mobile platforms recently and working on game reviews as my health permits. Now, this type of game is 100% not my usual type, so I blame all my silly deaths, failed jumps, or other errors on exactly that, and it's totally not my fault. I've had a bit of a run-in with COVID as of recently, so please excuse my voice issues as well. I hope you all had amazing holidays and an awesome start to your new year. Anyway, without further blabbering, let's get into it. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This is an action-adventure platformer game with a Metroidvania structure set in a mythological Persian world. In this disordered world, you play as Sargon, a young gifted Persian warrior with unique abilities on an epic quest to save Prince Ghassan, heir to the Persian throne, in Mount Qaf, a once wondrous place now cursed and hostile. Throughout your journey, you will master brand new time powers and try out unique combos to face mythological beasts and restore the world's balance. Now, this game's release date is January 18th. It would be January 15th with the early access. It is releasing on the platforms of Nintendo Switch, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, as well as Luna. This game is, the engine is Unity. I know, boo. Of course, the game is suggested to use a controller for, however, keyboard and mouse was just fine for me during my play sessions. It does have a pre-order offer that gives you some, cool little bonuses. The standard edition of the game runs at $50 or USD. The deluxe edition is $60, and it comes with 3 days early access as well as some cosmetics. Now here's the PC specs for minimum, recommended, and ultra, so you can kind of see where your system sits in between all of those. Getting into the gameplay options here, you have the guided mode, which has map icons that display the location of the next objective. Available block paths are marked. Choose this mode for easier navigation. You have disabling screen shake, visible interactions, which show markers for elements. Melee targeting assist, aim assist strength, platforming assist, which allows you to create portals to skip challenging platform sections. You have the ability to auto unfreeze. The controls, you have the basic type of control setup here. You can do your customization controls where you are allowed to, change your inputs how you deem fit. You have the difficulty options, which allow you to go through a couple different preset ones, but then you can also go through and change enemy damage, environmental damage, enemy health, parry difficulty, dodge window, Athra depletion rate, Athra gain, Athra loss rate from damage. So you can customize the game how you choose, no matter what you want to do. And you can change these at any time, however you want. It does not affect anything in the game for you. The display options, you have typical windowed full screen. Your resolution options, obviously VSync. The resolution, the FPS limit does go up to 240 or max. It doesn't have any customizable graphics options other than normal, high, and ultra. Keep that in mind. For AA, it has SMAA, FXAA, and none. It has the option for subtitles. You can change the subtitles background. You can use alternative font for accessibility. It has HUD scale for different sizes of your HUD. Calibration for brightness, of course. These are your language options here. I do believe there are 12 of them. You have your high contrast mode, which allows you to have 3 different presets here. It will also allow you to desaturate the background if you want. You can change colored objects there for different color line options and so forth there. You have sound options, which are, pretty standard. I would suggest turning down the menu volume. It's a little loud when you have it turned up. For audio language, you have these options. The game will have the day one patch as soon as you get it. It has quite a bit of stuff that they changed with the day one patch. There's improved balancing of bosses for enemy fights. They improved guided mode experience for better player guidance and understanding. They polished various improvements to the UI. They updated the audio mix, general bug fixes, of course. Sony and Microsoft trophies improved trophy names, icons, and description for better player experience and understanding. And the Xbox Series X also now supports 120 FPS. So, in this game, you play as Sargon, the youngest of the immortals, gifted with extraordinary agility and dual sword combat talent. His potential will lead him to acquire supernatural abilities and time powers in Mount Qaf. In the role of his fearless prodigy, you embark on an ambitious adventure to restore the world's balance and save the prince. While exploring Mount Qaf, the strong bonds between the immortals will put you to the test by the curse, eventually leading Sargon to face some of those that once considered his family. Yet the clock is ticking, and you must find Prince Ghassan, defeating any dangers to overcome every obstacle that might cross your path. The game does have about 20 to 25 hours just for the main mission only. So obviously there's a lot more playtime there if you do, exploring and looking for other cool stuff. Now, throughout the interconnected world, Sargon will start mastering he'll start the game out mastering dual sword combat that expands from there. With that in mind, this is a combo-based game. It has quite a ton of very cool-looking combos and different abilities that you can tie into them. Through the adventure, he will progressively unlock new weapons, new abilities or Ath Resurges, new amulets with perks and modifiers, time powers, outfits, new moves, traversal methods, and more. It does have a dodge and parry system as well, utilizing abilities that can change fights drastically. Well-timed parries can counterattack, and of course there's red and yellow light attacks. Red, obviously, a red flash means that you can't block. Yellow equals like a reckless attack from the enemy, and it can be parried for a crazy, really, really cool, stylish counterattack. So you want to do that as much as possible. There is multiple types of resources to find and spend at different vendors in the game as you progress through. Amulets allow players to express their creativity through combination of mechanics with time powers and Ath Resurges. Now, as I always tell people, I don't rate games on a number scale. Giving you a number means nothing to you, as we all have different likes and dislikes. I do try to keep my reviews fairly spoiler-free as much as possible, just so you can explore and see things for yourself. Now, getting into the nitty-gritty of the game that I experienced. I'll preface this with, I did only play about halfway through the game to 60% of the game due to my COVID, etc. issues, and I usually don't like to do reviews like this without beating the title fully. I'll also mention that I have not played any of the past Prince of Persia titles, so I don't have that experience to call back to, sadly, either. Hopefully I can cover most of what you'd be curious about with what I did play through, though. Overall, there were quite a few options, as well as accessibility, that I utilized personally. The sound of the game seemed pretty well balanced and without any issues that I could come across. Player and NPC animations were quite fluid, given that it's a combo-based game. They all flow really, really well together. Combat changes quite a lot of the game and how you play, depending on what you want to do, how you want to play it, what combos you want to use, or even the enemy types that you're fighting. Even at the lower end of difficulty, quite a few of the fights were tough, even, just for me being new to this type of game. Once you learn how the fights progress, it definitely makes you feel rewarded by being able to overcome them. Of course, different enemy types give you quite a few different challenges to overcome, and you'll need to change how you fight in order to deal with many of them. Optimization and gameplay for me was awesome. It runs really, really well. But then again, I am on a higher end system, keep in mind. I didn't have any performance or FPS drops during my playtime or anything like that. Cutscenes were really well done. I personally enjoyed them quite a bit. Even though I literally never play platformer games or with a controller, I had no problem going to a controller and getting around the map effortlessly. The game does a great job at making traversal fun and quick. There was quite a few puzzles, hidden areas, and so forth that were enjoyable to explore and figure out. Sometimes I'd get a bit frustrated as I wouldn't fully jump and I would need to reset the puzzle or whatnot. It's important to note that holding the traversal button longer means a longer jump or longer traversal. The game does a great job with tutorials as you unlock new abilities to explain how they work, what you need to do to make them work, and so forth, as well as showing you a picture diagram and so forth. The voiceover work was great. Each character felt like they had feeling behind them as they were talking, and they didn't feel like they were just like a robot, like probably I do sound now. Each biome change certainly felt different and provides new unique challenges you'll have to deal with. And there's quite a few different biomes, like I said earlier. The enemy types are quite varying and also feel very different depending on like each enemy that you fight. It definitely feels like, you know, it's not like a copy-paste situation of different enemies. As for issues with the games, I didn't really run into any that I can really think of off the top of my head. I did have some trouble with the running since it is tied to the same button as dodge, so that did cause some frustrations at times, but it was nothing really that big of a deal. I feel like they did a pretty good job overall in the game and making it a fun experience. Usually I do shy away from platformers and combo type games, but I had a great time with all aspects of the game. On my scale of, you know, game price versus playtime, you know, versus like the experience of the game or the quality of the game, I would certainly say it's worth to be in the $50 type category. If you especially if you enjoy these types of games, or, you know, Prince of Persia and so forth. If you're only playing to, you know, rush the main story mission and that's all, I would definitely say it's, you know, it's going to be on the higher price versus playtime side of things, given, you know, they estimated 20 to 25 hours of just the main missions only. But then again, you know, with games like this, I mean, you're going to explore, you're going to look around for cool stuff, you know, usually anyway. So I would definitely say it's pretty good where it is. And with that, thank you all for sharing your time with me as we check this new title out. I will have more coverage on the way, including a live stream of the game today, so I hope you'll stop by again. I hope you all had amazing holidays and a wonderful start to the new year. Massive thank you to Ubisoft and the creator team there for allowing me another advanced early review copy so that I can bring it to you all. And I will see you all next time.